Action. Way down upon the Wabash, that's where they never know. If Adam had passed over the soil he'd surely own, he'd think it was the garden he played in when a boy, and straight went out to Eden in the state of Illinois. So move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. There's there the Queen of Sheba, it was Solomon of old, with a caravan of spices, pomegranates, and fine gold. When she saw this lovely land, her heart was filled with joy. Straight away she said, I'd like to be a queen of Illinois. So move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. She's bounded by the Wabash, the Ohio, and the lakes. She's caught fish in the swampy land, the milktick and the shades. But these are slight diversions that take not from the joy of living in this garden land, the state of Illinois. So move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. Away upon the northward, right on the borderline, a great commercial city, Chicago you will find. Her men are all like apple ardor, women like elbow bees, all honest, virtuous people, for they live in Illinois. So move your family westward, good health you will enjoy, and rise to wealth and honor in the state of Illinois. So move your family westward, bring all your girls and boys, and cross that Shawnee Ferry to the state of Illinois. Thank you. Yes, I am Illinois Doug, and I am from Illinois. I'm from Mattoon, Illinois, the buckle on the Corn Belt. As it used to be called when I was a kid, a long time ago, but now it's called the bagel capital of the world. Because we visited there a couple of years ago in this huge bagel factory outside of town. I guess it all goes to Chicago or something. Yeah, Mattoon, Illinois, about 180 miles south of Chicago, 50 miles south or so of Champaign-Urbana. My brother Dennis is here. He pointed out to me one time that Mattoon's the town where Grant took command of his first unit of the Civil War. He'd been up in Galena, up in the northern point, and came down to Mattoon and took command, and I wondered why Mattoon, and I got reading and I knew that the Illinois Central goes from Chicago down to New Orleans, and then there was a railroad line that went from Terre Haute, Indiana across to Alton, Illinois, which is right across the river from St. Louis. So you look at that and you go, oh yeah, that means they could get troops to the Mississippi River within a day. They could get troops south. They would protect the Wabash River. They could protect the Ohio River. They could protect the Mississippi River and move troops around. So Mattoon, it's called the buckle on the Corn Belt, but the Big Four Railroad met there too. So it was important little town. And it's also, we'll talk about this a little bit, it's also in Coles County where Lincoln lived. And Charleston, Illinois is the county seat of Coles County, and is where one of the Lincoln-Douglas debates occurred. So it's hard to imagine that Illinois was in the West, but it was considered West. The little background for the whole thing, the population in the United States in 1860 was around 32 million, give or take a few thousand. 4 million of those were slaves, predominantly in the deep south, southeast. The issues have been going on forever. In bloody Kansas in the 50s, we talked about that for an hour. I came across a guy named States' Rights Geist. There's a guy, Geist, who was so adamant about states' rights, he named his kid States' Rights. It would be like naming your kid pro-life today or something. And States, they called him States, and he fought with honor on the Confederate side. Um, when Lincoln, this is all background, when Lincoln moved to Indiana from Kentucky about 7 or 9, I think about 9, Indiana had 23 million acres of wilderness. It was all gone in 60 years. When Lincoln talked about panthers and bears and stuff outside their home. West Point graduating class was 37 to 60 roughly. Everybody knew everybody. There were a few very elite families. Of course, you know, it's like California, it's got more than 20 million people now, or 30 million. John Brown in the 1850s, we think of John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave. What a great guy. Yay. He summarily executed 5 pro-slavery guys in Kansas with either a broadsword or a scythe, depending on which one you read. In the 1860 race, Lincoln was the lightweight. We'll go through these guys. I'm going to talk about the candidates in the 1860 and 1864 elections. Of the 1860 election, there were 4 guys: Lincoln, Bell, Breckinridge, and Stephen Douglas. But of all these people and even the vice presidential candidates, Lincoln was the lightweight. He'd done some work, political service in Illinois, but he served 1 term in Congress in 48 to 50, is that right? And these other guys had been governors, senators, congressmen, ambassadors, cabinet members. All the other guys that did all that. Lincoln was the lightweight. But as it turned out, I'll give you spoiler: Lincoln won. But in the 1860 election, the Democrats split, and there was Bell in the Constitutional Union Party, and Lincoln was elected with less than 40% of the vote, like 38.9 or something like that. And I've told people I'm not particularly religious, but I think God sent us Lincoln. I really do. During the whole of their lives, Lincoln and Jefferson Davis were more widely known and more popular than Lincoln. And the day Lincoln was shot, he was one of the most reviled people in America. And the day after he got shot, killed, he was one of our greatest heroes. And I said that one time, this woman said, the very next day? Well, metaphorically speaking. So, I don't know. What are you gonna do? So, this first song is called Lincoln and Hamlin. Hamlin was vice president with Lincoln. He served in the State House. He was the governor of Maine, on and on. But I chose this song because it alludes to the 4 candidates in the field. And it goes something like this. Get rid of that. There's an old gray horse whose name is Buck. Do-dah, do-dah. His dam is funny or sorry bad luck. Oh, do-dah day. Bound to work all night, we're bound to work all day. And my money on the Lincoln coat, better not get on the grave. The Lincoln colt is strong and young. Do-dah, do-dah. His wind is strong, his knees not strong. Oh, do-dah day. Horse is a well-known hack, do-dah, do-dah. He's long been fed a public rack, oh, do-dah day. Bound to work all night, we're bound to work all day. Get my money on the Lincoln coat, better not get on the grave. 4 candidates are in the field, do-dah, do-dah. 32 Lincoln soon must yield, oh, do-dah day. Democrats will put to rout, do-dah, do-dah, for their game is now played out, oh, do-dah day. We're bound to work all night, we're bound to work all day. Get my money on the Lincoln coat, you better not get on the grave. four candidates. Lincoln. Breckinridge was a Southern Democrat. Stephen Douglas was a Northern Democrat. And respectively pro-slavery, and we'll talk about that. So there's Lincoln, Breckinridge, Stephen Douglas, and John Bell of Tennessee. So the next guy I want to do a little bit about is John Breckinridge of Kentucky. He was a Southern Democrat. He was pro-slavery. He was a cousin of Mary Todd Lincoln. He supported Douglas on the Kansas-Nebraska Act. He was against, a lot of these guys were against secession, but when their states voted to secede, they went, I've got to stay with my state. People's loyalties were to their states. Before the Civil War, people would say the United States are. After the Civil War, people said the United States is. It's a real change in our national view of ourselves. Breckinridge was the youngest vice president ever elected. He was 35 when he was elected, the constitutional minimum. He was 36 when he was inaugurated in March. He served in the Senate, and one thing that stands out to me about Breckinridge is that he was the fourth and last Secretary of War for the Confederate States. And as Richmond was falling, he ensured that the archives of the Confederate political bodies and military units were preserved rather than destroyed, and I've always admired him for that. I'm working on a biography of Stephen Douglas, but I'd like to read a biography of Breckinridge. He's a real interesting fellow. So he'd served and fought at Shiloh as general, so he's a real interesting fellow. And this song is Breckinridge and Lane. His running mate was Joseph Lane of Oregon. Heard of Lane County? That's the guy. He was, did you know that Lincoln turned down being, what do they call it first, secretary?
Territorial governor.
Well, yeah, he's the governor, asked to be the governor second, but he's asked for anyhow, he was asked to be a territorial governor, and he said, don't think so, guys. He was ambitious enough, he didn't want to go out here and be into obscurity, and Mary Todd went, you're not going out there. We're not going out to Oregon. We're staying here. She was more ambitious than he was, I think. So Lane was our first territorial governor and one of our first two senators. And he fought valiantly in the Mexican-American War, but being a pro-slavery candidate ruined him, and losing always ruins you politically, usually. So, Breckinridge and Lane. It's an old song called the Lowback Car, a type of carriage. The battlefield is now in view. Democrats prepare. We'll give our votes for Breckinridge and place him in the chair. The cabinet is understood. Breckinridge will go. If Pat is ready for the fight, he'll be president, you know. He'll grease himself, he'll please the fear at all of that. For Pat has been, as we have seen, a good sound Democrat. Republicans and Douglas will soon be put to rout. If Aaron sons are wide awake, they'll have to wheel about. So rally all, both great and small, for the battle day is near. We'll all go in for Breckinridge and place him in the chair. Yes, we'll all go in for Breckinridge and place him in the chair. Well, I always forget to mention before that song, you heard the terms Pat, Aaron's Sons, the Rogues He'll Grease. This was a song to recruit Irish voters. You'd think that the Irish, in their experience, would be against slavery, but wasn't necessarily so. They were afraid that the freed slaves would take all the good jobs that the Irish had. Irish are about that far above slavery. You'll see old photographs. Irish need not apply, no Irish. Our great-grandfather got to America at 6 years old in 1866 as an indentured servant. And I'm trying to get Elliot to do some research on indentured servants, but they took the place of the freed slaves, the Irish kids. So the next guy is Stephen Douglas, the Little Giant. He was the Northern Democrat, and his view of things was his political outlook was for popular sovereignty, which meant that the states or territories as they came in could vote on whether they would be free or slave. Sounds like a great idea. Women didn't have the vote. Slaves sure didn't have a vote. Indians didn't have a vote. The Chinese that were here didn't have a vote. Nobody else had a vote but the white guys. And I used to say it was the rich white guys, but at that time the vote was pretty well universal. So popular sovereignty, that was a great idea, but it didn't float. And what happened? Anybody here can quickly explain the electoral college? Let me know. Lincoln got most of the votes. Stephen Douglas got second amount of votes, but he got the least amount of electoral votes. He got 12. Wow. And who was John Bell? He got twice as many votes as John Bell, and John Bell got 39 electoral votes, and Stephen Douglas got 12. So Stephen Douglas, the Little Giant, we were talking beforehand. I thought he was little. He's about 5 foot tall. Lincoln was 6'4". So if you go to Charleston, Illinois, where they had one of the debates, there are life-size statues there, and it's like this. I thought Little Giant came from him being a giant in the Senate, but I've been reading this biography, and apparently he got in a debate with someone, and he just destroyed this guy in the debate, and the crowd picked him up and carried him around on their shoulders and called him the Little Giant. And that's where he got that. But he was a giant in the Senate. He was the head of the committee on the territories, so he had a lot to say and had a lot of power about how the territories and when the territories and how they came into the Union. He was on the Illinois Supreme Court when he was 27 years old. What else? And also in his biography, I just read this. So here he is, 5 foot tall, and in 1838 he ran for a congressional seat in a new district in Illinois, and he had a series of debates with this guy named Stewart. And it started out nice, but in the last debate they got so rancorous that Stewart picked Douglas up by his neck. Oh, yeah. And then what the book says, it carried him around the square. Like this. And so when Douglas got even with him, he almost bit the guy's thumb off. Yeah. And you think politics is rough today. You know? So the other thing about Douglas is he married a wealthy slave-holding widow, I think a widow, and anyhow, Mattoon's about 10 miles from Charleston, and it was the bigger town at the time. So Lincoln and Douglas both stayed in Mattoon the night before the debate in Charleston, the Lincoln-Douglas debate, of course. And the next morning, Lincoln got the train over to Charleston. Douglas took his private car with a flatbed on the back of that with a brass cannon to announce his arrival. Douglas died right after the start of the war. He did support Lincoln, but he didn't last long after the start of the war. He died of too many cigars and too much whiskey and tuberculosis. So this is Douglas and Johnson. Johnson had been the governor of Georgia. So this is Douglas and Johnson. Herschel Vespasian Johnson. We will raise our glorious banner high, Douglas and Douglas. I can't wait to get back into that bar. So, as I spent a lot of time on the computer looking for this stuff, and I came across this next song for Stephen Douglas, and it's called Old Uncle Abe, but it's a Stephen Douglas song, or campaign song, and this is one I've told you guys, some of you folks, I found this and I printed out the lyrics because I hadn't had it recorded. I wrote a letter to Obama and sent a copy of my CD because I still had about 800 of them. and I wrote a letter to send that in a letter, and I said, "Dear Mr. President, I know that you're a Lincoln scholar and often quote him, and I came across this song, and when I saw it, I just realized how apropos it was to the 2008 election, and when you hear the lyrics, you'll understand that." I told him every time I sing this song, I think of him, which is true. And it goes like this. Oh, the sun shines bright on the Douglas cause today, and brighter tomorrow will be. Old Abe Lincoln's hope are all passing away, and sadder times yet will he see. The Republican crowd is exultant no more, and Buchanan has given up the fight. Even Breckinridge stops is knocking at the door, while Douglas stays ahead all right. So weep no more, Abe Lincoln, ere weeks shall pass away. You will be forgot as you were unknown before, except in Illinois far away. You need hunt no more, for the game is safely stowed, and Douglas the victor is found. You'd much better go home, or you only will get blowed if the boys find you hanging around. Stick to splitting rail and any other fun that suits your Republican crew, for a presidential race has never yet been won by such a looking chap as you. So weep away, Abe Lincoln, ere weeks shall pass away. You will be forgot as you were unknown before, except in Illinois far away. I got a real nice thank you card from the White House for that, one of 10,000 they sent out that day. So that's Stephen Douglas, the little giant. Lincoln we know about, so we've done John Breckinridge, Stephen Douglas, and then there was John Bell of Tennessee. He was a wealthy slave holder. He served in the House. Let's see what else. Not only did he serve in the House, he was the 16th Speaker of the House. Lincoln was the 16th President, and John Bell was the 16th Speaker. So, have you guys seen the movie Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't, go see it. But one of the funny scenes in there, if you want to call it funny, is they're talking about, oh, they free the slaves, they'll get the vote. Oh my God, we can't have that. Oh God, can't. The women will get the vote. Oh my God, not the women. It's funny. So John Bell of Tennessee, senator, tried to keep Tennessee in the Union, wanted to avoid a war. 16th Speaker, his Secretary of War under Harrison and Tyler, and he was a senator from 50 to 59. So John Bell of Tennessee. He was of the Constitutional Union Party. So Lincoln Republican, Southern Democrat, Northern Democrat, and the fourth guy is Constitutional Union. And I call him the Rodney King of of the candidates, why can't we just all get along? You know, come on, guys, we don't want a war. It's not fun. And if we just hold on, and a lot of people believe this, if we just hold on, slavery would die out anyhow, and that was sort of their position. But they, as they say today, didn't gain any traction with that. So John Bell of Tennessee, you might recognize the song. John Bell's running mate was Edward Everett, and he had been Secretary of State under Fillmore and some other congressmen and all that. But what you might know him for is he was the guy that spoke before Lincoln at Gettysburg, who spoke for about 3 hours, which was entertainment in those days. And Lincoln gets up for 4 minutes and says, "You won't remember what I'm saying, but yeah, it's all right." So, right?
Yeah.
Right.
See, where am I? Oh, John Bell, yeah. I want to leave that there. So here's the song that started it all. This is the song I found when I got on the Bicentennial Commission. This is one you hear most often. It's called Lincoln and Liberty, and this was his 1860 official campaign song, according to Folk Songs of North America. This is an old song called Rosin the Bow, an old fiddle tune called Rosin the Bow. And yeah, anybody here from the 60s? There was a guy, Randy Sparks, had a song that became popular called Denver. While driving a rig out of Texas, full loaded and bound for Cheyenne. Remember that song? No. That's Rosin the Bow, and it's B-E-A-U. Oh, those pioneers, they had a sense of humor, didn't they? Hurrah for the choice of the nation, our chieftain so brave and so true. We'll go for the great Reformation, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, a hero of Hoosierdom through. The pride of the suckers so lucky, for Lincoln and liberty too. They'll know what by felling and mauling our railmaker statesmen can do. The people are everywhere calling for Lincoln and liberty too. Then up with the banner so glorious, the star-spangled red, white, and blue. We'll fight till our banner's victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. Our David's good sling is unerring, the slave-a-crat's giant he slew. Then shout for the freedom preferring, for Lincoln and liberty too. We'll go for the son of Kentucky, a hero of Hoosierdom through. The pride of the suckers so lucky, for Lincoln and liberty too. Then up with the banner so glorious, the star-spangled red, white, and blue. We'll fight till our banner's victorious, for Lincoln and liberty too. Applause and a bow. Pardon me. So we're going to take that's the 1860 election. Lincoln, Breckinridge, Stephen Douglas, and John Bell. And so take a little segue before we get into the 1864 election, because that election went like that for Lincoln. So there was a guy named Ennis Randolph of the famous Randolph family of Virginia. And as I said before, they were there before the Indians. They've been around forever. So I met a fellow from Virginia and said, "Hey, you know the famous Randolph family?" He goes, "No, but there are a lot of stuff named Randolph in Virginia." And then I ran into a woman and said something like, have you guys heard of the Randolph-Macon College or University?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That was the Randolphs. But Ennis fought valiantly for the Confederates, and when he got done with the war, he became a poet and a writer. And he wrote I came across 3 poems. It's the one I know. And this is the one song that I get the most comments on. It's called "I'm a Good Old Rebel." So it's post-war. It's structured. And apparently it was when they had the Confederate veterans conferences and conventions, this was a really big hit song. At that, it's called "I'm a Good Old Rebel." And they go, "Oh, I'm a good old rebel now, that's just what I am. For this fair land of freedom, I do not give a damn. I'm glad I fought again it, I only wished we'd won, and I don't want any part for anything I done. I hates the Constitution, the great Republic too. I hates the Freedmen's Bureau in uniforms of blue. I hates the nasty eagle with all his brag and fuss, but the lying, thieving Yankees, I hates 'em worse and worse. I hates the Yankee nation and everything they do. I hates the Declaration of Independence too. I hates the glorious Union just dripping with our blood. And I hates the striped banner, and I fought it all I could. I followed old Marse Robert for 4 years near about. Been wounded in 3 places and starved at Point Lookout. I caught the rheumatism camping in the snow, but I killed a chance of Yankees and I'd like to kill some more. 300,000 Yankees lie stiff in southern dust. We got 300,000 before they conquered us. They died of southern fever and southern steel and shot. And I wished it was 3 million instead of what we got. I can't take up my musket and fight 'em now no more. But I ain't gonna love 'em, and that's for certain sure. And I don't want no pardon for what I was and am. And I won't be reconstructed, and I do not give a damn. I get cold chills every time I do that. I was visiting my wife and my brother and his wife and my wife was with me. We went to an open mic down one night in Tehachapi where they live, and I did that song. It really ticked some guy off. Is that a political statement or is that historical? It's history, dude. It's just a song, man. It's just a song. Here's a bit of trivia. It took me a couple of years to figure out. Why aren't there any campaign songs for Jefferson Davis? Because he didn't campaign. That's why. In February of '61, he was appointed president by a convention of the southern states that had seceded at that time. He really didn't want to be president. He wanted to be in charge of the military because he was a big-time hero along with Joseph Lane in a battle in Mexico. And he was one of the most respected and well-known senators at the time. Real interesting read is Jefferson Davis's farewell to the Senate. It really puts a lot of the issues crystal clear. But he didn't campaign, and then in November of '61 he ran unopposed for a term of 6 years, which he didn't make. So there are no campaign songs for Davis, but I did come across this one, and it's called "Hurrah for Jeff Davis," and then I'll do a song from the northern view of Jeff Davis. This is my favorite song to do. This is called "Hurrah for Jeff Davis." Virginia was wrong and now she is right. She showed at Great Bethel she knew how to fight. Hoorah, 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 hoorah for Jeff Davis. Hoorah. Old Butler sent Crosby our coast to invade, but of our mass batteries he was sorely afraid. Abe Lincoln's a fool and Burgess made a scamp with the vile millions who were going in camp. Hoorah, 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 hoorah for Jeff Davis. Hoorah. Come on, ye young men, 1,000 men more, help us to fight for old Eastern Shore. With God as our guide and His grace to fight with, to follow the victory of gallant young Smith. Hoorah, 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 hoorah for Jeff Davis. Hoorah. When the war times are all over, we'll all change our life, take to our home some nice little wife. We'll gather our children all down our knees, sing to the youngsters as long as we please. Hoorah, 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 hoorah for Jeff Davis. Hoorah. Stumbled over that a little bit, but many people have said, I don't know how you remember all those words. Well, sometimes I'm thinking ahead and losing time. So that's the southern version of a song for Jeff Davis, but most of the songs you come across are Hang the Sucker's Too Good for Him and things like that. There's a song you'll see a lot on CDs and books. It's called Jeff Davis in Petticoats. Yeah, do you know that story? When things were falling, he needed to get out of Dodge, Richmond. Apparently, some people think he dressed as a woman to disguise himself, but his wife said no. He dresses like that all the time. No, that's not right. His wife said no. I just threw a shawl over him to keep him warm. But there's a song called Jeff Davis in Petticoats. This is Jeff Davis. This is called Oh My Joe Jeff. Jeff Davis, oh my Joe Jeff, your cutting shines out there. Say, do you think when war is o'er that your head will save me? The North's a brave and hardy race, and kind as heaven could make her. But if they catch you, I hope they will. They'll hang you as a traitor. Jeff Davis, oh my Joe Jeff, your mammy taught you better in all command, except the eighth, and that you wouldn't let her. She should have whipped and spanked you well, and then you'd have some reason to thank your stars and garters too, that you were safe from treason. Jeff Davis, oh my Joe Jeff, cotton heads on matches for Northern Boy, for freedom boy, they will not know the scratches. 'Tis well to talk, no need to blow, the valor of your masses, for the world knows well, and we do too, that one more little segue song here. Here's a song, a C, D, E flat. That when I came across this, a lot of folks have done this song too, but this is from a guy named George F. Root, who wrote, you'll hear it in here, Rally Round the Flag, or what is it? It was in the movie Lincoln. That's the one song everybody recognized. It will rally round the flag, boys, rally. He wrote that and a whole bunch of others. He had a distribution company. He did Violin Methods and all that, like Mel Bay. So his stuff got distributed and he got rich, or rich and famous probably. And Stephen Douglas wrote a whole bunch of songs and didn't have any distribution and died with 37 cents in his pocket. And we remember Stephen Foster. So this, I said to my mom, rest her soul, she'd be 100 this year, said, hey Mom, listen to this song. It's called Just Before the Battle, Mother. And my mom said, oh, I know that song. I had to learn that in grade school. But my mom was in grade school 53 years after the end of the Civil War. And so it goes like this. And I like this song. I think it's a pretty melody, but I like it because I think it sort of is a universal soldier song sentiment right before the battle. And I think these thoughts have run through soldiers' minds from Roman times before to today. And I picture a fellow with a banjo, of course, sitting on a knoll in the morning, and he's over there's one camp, and over there's another camp, and there's where they're going to go out and fight, and all the campfires are going out, and people are forming up and all that. And he's sitting up there looking at it, and he sings, just before the battle, Mother, I am thinking most of you. While upon the field we're watching with the enemy in view. Brave comrades are round me lying, filled with thoughts of home and God. For well they know upon the morrow, some will sleep beneath the sod. Farewell, Mother, you may never press me to your heart again. But oh, you'll not forget me, Mother, if I'm numbered with the slain. Hark, I hear the bugle sounding, 'tis the signal for the fight. Now may God protect us, Mother, as He ever does the right. Hear the battle cry of freedom, how it swells to fill the air. And yes, we'll rally round the standard, or we'll perish nobly there. Farewell, Mother, you may never press me to your heart again. But oh, you'll not forget me, Mother, if I'm numbered with the slain. Thank you. I got to tell you this. So my music room's down in the basement, and I was coming across that song, and I came upstairs. My beautiful wife Sheila's here, and I said, "Hey, honey, listen to this. Hark, I hear the bugle sounding." She goes, "Oh," because we was both laughing because there's an old, I guess, a vaudeville joke you'd call it. So a joke about this guy that wanted to be an actor. And he auditioned and tried, and he really wanted to be an actor. And he finally got one line in a play. It just happened to be a Civil War play. He got one line, and his line was, "Hark, I hear the cannons roar." So he went home, man, he rehearsed. "Hark, I hear the cannons roar. Hark, I hear the cannons roar. Hark, I hear the cannons roar," and on and on. And so he got his line down, and the director said, "Now here's what's going to happen. You know, the curtain's going to open, and you walk out, and you look at the audience, and backstage will be boom, and you say your line, 'Hark, I hear the cannons roar.'" So it's opening night, and he's thinking, and he's all nervous, and he's getting ready for the show, and the curtain opens, and he walks out, and there's a big boom, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" So, and the other thing is that, you know, this is one of the first incidences of product placement, like you see Pepsi and Cheerios in the movies. So George Root writes a song that alludes to one of his songs. It's like, here's another song of mine, guys. So we move on. We've got the 1864 election, and so who was Lincoln's opponent in 1864?
McClellan.
McClellan, George McClellan, Little Mac. I got to read some of these notes because it's too rich not to. One of his mottos was, this is from Chester Barnard, not Kenneth Barnard. Dr. Trommel here did some of the research as a graduate student with a fellow Kenneth Barnard at
Boston University.
Boston University. I have the book here. It is the book on, it's called Lincoln and the Music of the Civil War. And I was looking through that one day, and I came across the McClellan motto. "McClellan for president, white men for husbands." Say what? So on and on, you know. It must have been interesting times to live. McClellan was the second in his class of 59 at West Point. He was known as a brilliant engineer and administrator. The old Army saddle he improved on, and it became the McClellan saddle, which the Army used until the 1930s when they disbanded horse cavalry. When we lived on a farm in Illinois, we had some Army saddles. They were the most dreadful things to ride on more than 15 minutes. There's nothing better than a good Western rope and saddle to ride a horse on, but those Army saddles were miserable. But that was his thing. He and Lincoln knew one another from Illinois. Lincoln was the Illinois Central Railroad's attorney, and McClellan, I've read two things. He was the chief engineer, mechanical engineer, and that he was the general superintendent of the Illinois Central Railroad, so he's probably both somewhere along the line. So they knew one another, and I doubt they ever liked one another. Lincoln actually thought he was a little crazy, and then when the Army was formed in '61, there were only 17,000 troops. So was it Scott that was the original chief general of the Army, and McClellan aced him out politically and became the head of the Army. He did a really good job. He got everybody organized and got them drilled and trained, and this great fighting force that came together in a short time. But McClellan wouldn't fight. He just wouldn't fight. He always overestimated the strength of the Confederates by a factor of 2 to 3. He always had excuses. I need more equipment. I need more men. I can't move. And so Lincoln demoted him from head of the Army, all armies, back to just the head of the Army of the Potomac. And then things got in disarray again would be Hooker and Burnside and some of those guys, right? So he called McClellan back and made him head of all the armies again. McClellan wouldn't fight. We got him organized again. And I think it was at Antietam. They had the big battle, and they drove the Confederates back across the Antietam Creek into Sharpsburg. And instead of going after him, McClellan stopped and gave the Confederates a chance to get away. And Lincoln wrote to him, and he said, McClellan has the slows. And he wrote to him and said, go, charge, go, close on the enemy. And McClellan said, oh, can't do it right now. My horses are fatigued and tongue sore. From the bits. Well, he said, from the bits. And Lincoln wrote to him and said, what have your horses been doing since Antietam to make them fatigued and tongue sore? If you're not using the army, I should like to borrow it. And then he sent McClellan home to New Jersey at the time, home to await orders, which never came. So McClellan, whose ego was huge, I'm sure that he just hated Lincoln about that. And this one book I was reading, I got to read this. This is just too much. So Lincoln thought McClellan a little crazy, and there were those in the cabinet who believed that McClellan was actually a traitor because he was not necessarily against slavery, so pro-slavery in a way. And so I read this. McClellan suffered from paranoia, which made him to see enemies everywhere and made him quarrelsome, mistrustful, secretive, harshly judgmental, rigid, and self-righteous. In addition, he was impious, arrogant, and grandiose narcissist. As I say, that's his good points. Could have won the war, but didn't. So, could have won more early on, I believe. So this is called Our Mac Shall March to Washington. And it's a shot at Lincoln for being a jokester, because Lincoln always told stories. And on several occasions, people said, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I'm not here to hear your stories. And Lincoln would say, if I can't tell these stories, I'll die. So, this is good. McClellan is the people's choice this fall. We'll aid him with our boats and boys this fall, until we put our hero through and send old Abe to Ballyhoo. For we'll all feel gay when we send the Joker home. For we'll all feel gay when we send the Joker home. Our Mac shall march to Washington this fall, but not by way of Old Bull Run this fall, for that you know was Old Abe's route, and Lincoln boys is well played out. And we'll all feel gay when we place the Joker home. And we'll all feel gay when we place the Joker home. Yes, Abram boys is quite played out this fall, but that there's not the slightest doubt this fall, he went the Negan to the ground where he said he'd drive the rebel hound. And we'll all feel gay when we place him joking home. And we'll all feel gay when we place him joking home. Give Mac a hearty welcome in this fall, and vote and work for him like in this fall, for that's the way we'll win the prize and pull the wool over Abram's eyes. And we'll all feel gay when we send the Joker home. And we'll all feel gay when we send the Joker home. See if I get this story right, but one of the jokes of Lincoln is that he got on his mule one time, and somebody told him there was a new man in the county that was uglier than he was. So he throws his shotgun on his mule and he rides out, and this guy's pilot says, "Can I help you, sir?" Lincoln said, "Yeah, you got 5 minutes to make peace with your maker." I said, "That's unusual, sir. Why is that?" And he said, "Well, I was told that there's a man uglier than me in the county, and I took a solemn oath that if there's anyone uglier than me, I was going to shoot him." So, make peace with your maker. The guy said, "If I'm uglier than you, shoot away." Okay, a couple more. I don't know if there's another one I want. After we turn off the camera. McClellan was a Democrat, a copperhead. Anytime any of these songs you hear the word copperhead, like copper's at a discount and stuff like that, it's alluding to the copperheads who wanted to end the war immediately and correct me if I'm wrong, my professor folks, but wanted to let everything just stop and would stop the war and either let slavery die out or make some compromise with the South about slavery. So that was McClellan's position. So this is called the Democratic Rally, and I like this song. It's an old tune called "Wait for the Wagon." It alludes to the major issues of all those years, but talks about states' rights, like states' rights Geist, and habeas corpus, because Lincoln suspended habeas corpus, arrested people and just held them. Lincoln closed down pro-Southern newspapers. That's why he was called a tyrant and a traitor. And so it talks about states' rights, habeas corpus. There's a verse that says, "We'll chase away all greenbacks," and that was a shot at Salmon Chase, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the beginnings of the federal bank, right? And went off the gold standard and trying to form a federal bank to finance the war. Those are the ones I can think of offhand. You'll hear them in the song. Come over with the Union and the Constitution through, and join in strong communion to put the contest through. To beat the West River and to Springfield something back. No Canada is better than the gallant little Mac. Here's to the Union, here's to the Union, here's to the Union and the Democratic cause. For states' rights we will rally and habeas corpus too. For we have manned our galley with an independent crew that will not be subjected to any tyrant's reign. The white men have elected to run a Negro train. Here's to the Union, here's to the Union, here's to the Union and the Democratic cause. We'll chase away all greenbacks and gather in our gold, and then we will prosper as in the days of old. So rally, rally, we'll hit them for the track. We'll jump in the wagon and we'll walk with little Mac. Here's to the Union, here's to the Union, here's to the Union and the Democratic cause. We'll rally now and ever our Union to uphold. Nor in our madness ever the reckless manifold that bound our happy nation in one harmonious whole. And traded its own station and its interests to control. Here's to the Union, here's to the Union, here's to the Union and the Democratic cause. We'll keep our fair flag flying when it's the day we fight. With half the family dying, 'tis emblem of the right. Justice and truth defending, democracy will stand. With power and strength defending the glory of our land. Here's to the Union, here's to the Union, here's to the Union and the Democratic cause. So, they got them shot in at Lincoln on these songs, and here's this next song is just called the Lincoln Campaign Song. It's the Yankee Doodle. It's a little shot at McClellan. These songs have so much more meaning about the election than "Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow." And all of those we've had in the last 3 or 4 elections. They can, these were, like "Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow." That was a popular song. They just used the song. All the songs that I'm doing were popular songs, but they put the political words in. So this is called the Lincoln Campaign Song. It's a shot at McClellan. How are you, Mr. Little Mac? You are a pretty dandy, but you have got upon a plank that will throw you very handy. Oh, clear the track for honest Abe. McClellan is behind him. He can never win the race. He can't keep up with Lincoln. You once pursued a noble path in fighting for the nation, but now you join the Copperheads and lowered much your station. Oh, clear the track for honest Abe. McClellan is behind him. He can never win the race. He can't keep up with Lincoln. We're sorry for you, little Mac. You joined a fated party, so make your mind up to defeat. How are you now, my hearty? Oh, clear the track for honest Abe. McClellan is behind him. He can never win the race. He can't keep up with Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is our man. You can depend upon it. We're going to elect him like a book, so all join in our son. Oh, clear the track for honest Abe. McClellan is behind him. He could never win the race. He can't keep up with Lincoln. Little Matt. Okay, one more song. And this is called "Three Cheers for Abe and Andy and Our Gallant Boys in Blue." And when Sheila heard this, my wife heard this the first time, the image that came to her mind was a bunch of Union soldiers sitting in a tavern having, maybe their 6th beer, and singing this song on my CD, available on CD Baby. My brother plays piano on this song, and a neighbor woman sings harmony on it. But the piano's hard to lug around. So this is "Three Cheers for Abe and Andy." 3 cheers for Abe and Andy and our gallant boys in blue, for General Grant and Sherman who will put the rebels through, and with their bristling bayonets will end this cruel war, and teach men that this Union must never lose a star. Hurrah, 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 hurrah for Abe and Andy too, for General Grant and Sherman and our gallant boys in blue. 3 cheers for Abe and Andy, for them will raise a shout that will make the peace sticks tremble and put them to the rout, and we'll show them next November going into Mexico that copper's at a discount and secession is no go. Does your mother know you're out? Our gallant boys in blue. 3 cheers for Abe and Andy, let our watchword ever be, till our flags shall float triumphantly o'er every state and free, and our army and our navy shall triumph in the fight, for Union God So the
Three
other
cheers
link-
for Illinois Doug.
I didn't talk about the sucker state. Okay, we have to start all over.
Take two.
No, I won't go there. Well, the other Lincoln joke, though, is that he was defending a guy, a barge, the way I understood the story, a barge owner, right?
Yeah.
Who had run his barge into a railroad bridge, and the railroad was suing him, and they had this big legal thing going on. And like today, the railroad, the big corporation, had 3 or 4 attorneys there. There was Lincoln and his guy from Illinois, I reckon, that he was defending. So they get to the closing arguments, and Lincoln walks up to the jury box and says, "I believe the railroad company has their facts right, but their conclusions are in error." He turned around and sat down. So the jury went out for about 5 minutes. They came back and they found for Lincoln. So so the attorneys for the railroad, pardon me, came up and said, "How'd you do that? You know, all you said was, we have our facts right, but our conclusions are in error. How'd you do that?" Lincoln said, "Well, you know, at dinner, which we call lunch now, dinner, I went down to the tavern, because it's a small town, and everybody was in there eating lunch, and I was just telling the jury about this, the story about this old farmer's out plowing, and his young boy comes up and says, 'Pa, what's wrong, son?' He said, 'Sister and a hired hand are in the hayloft, and she's got her dress pulled up, and his pants are pulled down. I think they're fixing to pee on the hay.'" And he said, "Son, got your facts right, but your conclusions are in error." Isn't that a great story? Oh, man. So, what else, you guys? Questions, answers? Do you want to ask any of us questions or any of this, or go home?
Yes. In the during the political campaigns of those years, how were these songs used?
Oh, good question. Yeah. Songs were probably at the top of the list of campaigning. And if you look, they had song sheets. They were actually about that big. And they were really fancy borders. You can find them on the Library of Congress. But they would have rallies of thousands of people, and they would hand out these song sheets, and everybody would sing along with the campaign song. That was their sound bites. And geez, the rallies were huge, because going to hear somebody speak for 3 hours was considered entertainment. And then these rallies, they would be thousands. I read of one rally. There were the Wide Awakes, which was Lincoln's group, paramilitary actually, and I read of one that was like 5,000 Wide Awakes with 400 or 500 horse-mounted Wide Awakes carrying banners, and they carried banners like this, you know, John, big banners like that, and they also had torches with little windows, like a porch light like that, would have silhouettes of the candidates and stuff on it. So that's how the songs were used.
Okay.
And it's just, you go on and on. The Chase Away All Greenbacks verse is actually from another McClellan song, "To Wait for the Wagon," but I borrowed it, and there were 6 verses. I didn't do 3 of those and put in another one. The other song alludes to our hero was a great hero, and Lincoln fired him twice. Called him back, fired him again. You know, that was their sore point with McClellan. I also read a first-hand account of McClellan, because he was such a jerk, so egotistical. He wrote to his wife and said, after I win this war handily, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to make me dictator." Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
And he said, "But I won't take it. You know, marvelous self-restraint for an ego. And I forgot what I was going with McClellan. Oh, so this reception, this guy wrote, McClellan was pleasant and outgoing and affable and talkative and, you know, and good and all that. And he was more a psychological puzzlement to those who knew him rather than those he had just met. Have you read a McClellan biography or anything, you guys?
Yeah.
Yes?
I've heard
And?
that. Well,
Can't add to that?
You basically told the story.
Yeah.
Very popular
Oh, men loved
initially
him.
among its troops.
Called Lincoln a buffoon.
Who was the incumbent in 1860?
Oh,
Buchanan.
Buchanan, yeah. And that, huh?
Did you sing songs about Buchanan?
No, I just alluded to him that first song,
He
Old,
did-
the Old Gray Horse Whose
He
Name was
was,
Bud.
he was not successor because he chose not to run.
I see.
Because he, and then, we'll chase away all green, can't be bought with golden dimes, which was actually a gold coin called a dime at the time. And, so there was some corruption and bad stuff going on in Buchanan's.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
The song, that poignant song you sang about your mother,
Yes.
you know when that was written? Was that towards the end of the war?
You know, offhand, I don't know. I don't know.
Beautiful song.
Isn't that beautiful melody?
Really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. There's a middle verse. When I learned the song from Folk Songs in North America, I only saw 2 verses. There's a middle one, but I do it so slowly, I don't want to add another verse to it. I think it'd take away from it. Yeah. And then some of the songs that Root wrote. I've got one. I found the old sheet music at it. It doesn't have any lyrics to it. So I've tried to find a collection of George F. Root Civil War songs, the 30 or 31 or 2 songs he wrote specifically about the war. I've tried to find a collection of those, and I haven't come across one yet. I've spent a
Maybe
while
you'd have
trying
to
to
put
do
one
that.
together.
Well, I can't find the other songs. You know, if I could find all 30 of them, that'd be one thing, but I can't even, I can't find an index of them or anything offhand. But that was a real popular song, so it's in the Civil War songbooks and all that. Yeah. So, yeah, it was real interesting time to live, but can you imagine calling the presidential candidate a traitor, a Tory, and a nigger? You know, it's like, I'm sure in 2008 that happened, but no, I'm not kidding, man. That was part of that election. But they, so what else? That's about it. I really
Well,
appreciate.
that's good. I hope this comes out. I hope this really comes
It'll
out
be
well.
better.
Do you have a microphone up there?
No, he'll pick it up here.
You're sure?
Yeah, those things are great.
Yeah, oh yeah, the other one didn't have a microphone. I hope it does, because I'm not going to do this again. Next time, next time there'll be 3 people here. Me, Dennis, and Sheila when she...
Think so?
yeah, maybe only 2, maybe only me.
Did I get the lens cap off?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.